Stacie here at Jessie's Performance, and you may see me throughout some of the videos and such and kind of wonder, oh look, it's the office girl. But I do the office stuff. Obviously I answer the phone, I do our social media. I get asked probably at least twice a week if I know anything when people call the office, but joke's on you, I do know something. I have quite an extensive racing history, and I was going to talk a little bit about what I know and what I do and what I'm about to do. I did not grow up around cars. I'm extremely jealous of all the girls that got to grow up doing junior drags and kart racing. My dad had a C10 growing up. I learned to drive manual on it, but it was just, I mean, it was just what we had. It was nothing special. It was nothing that I was like passionate about. I ended up working at a record store as a teenager. I was a big punk rock girl. I was super into going to like punk rock concerts and stuff. And the record store that I worked at moved to a bigger location and started to carry car audio. So the owner of the company was like, oh yeah, let's do DB drags, and Stacie, let's put all these subs inside of your Honda Civic and make it so that you win all the time. Well, I did. I won all the time, and I think the best part of it for me was the winning. I loved the winning and just the competition part and standing out. As a woman, and I mean, I was obviously the only girl there competing. Got some help from my dad to get a little bit of a loan. I went down to the local Honda shop and asked them for an LSV Tech swap. Actually, it was supposed to be a GSR swap, but I ended up with an LSV Tech. Not sure if that happened, but anyways, they finished my car and everything. We did like header and exhaust and coilovers, and it was a pretty big build. This was back in like the early 2000s when Fast and the Furious was just coming out. And they were like, hey, Stacie, we're going to be going to Salt Lake City to do this drag race. Do you want to come with us? And I was like, well, hell yeah. So I went out there. I learned to drive like on a little back road. I learned to launch my car, and I made my first pass in Salt Lake City, and I have been hooked ever since. Can you get the perfect gift for any occasion just by calling Jessie's Performance? Yes, you can! Jessie's hat. This year, give your friends and family the perfect gift. You in a Jessie's hat. Because a Jessie's Performance hat makes you look your best, a Jessie's hat is the perfect gift. Best of all, they'll love it as much as you do. For a limited time, take 10% off using code YT10. Go online now to jessiesperformance.com to find all our different styles. We got back to Colorado and I started going to Bandimere Speedway regularly, and I started out bracket racing, and the more I won and the better that I got, the faster I wanted to go naturally, right? The car just started to feel slow. I started out running like 15-second quarter miles and then made it into like the mid to low 13s once I put a turbo on my car, but it was never fast enough. So in 2005, I won an NHRA Wally, and that kind of set things over the top for me. I knew how prestigious that award was, and I kind of felt like maybe I had something special and needed to take my career a little further. So I saved up money, I did a forged motor, and broke forged motor after forged motor after forged motor. Drag racing Hondas, at least back then, was like beating your head against a brick wall. I windowed blocks, I had fires in my car. I mean, it was a lot of excitement and a lot of frustration. In 2009, I actually dropped the ball because I just got so fed up with not having the right car. It just wasn't set up to do what I needed to do. It was just take too much money to get there. So I stopped doing car stuff for a long time, probably 5 years. And then I met Jessie.
All right. We ready? All right, let me get a drink real quick here. Yeah, I got a ration that one. We're about out of that bad boy. I don't tell many people this, but I actually was a fan of Stacie and her car before I ever even knew who she was. I lived in Wyoming. She is from Colorado. Me and a group of guys would come from Wyoming to Colorado to watch the import racing. And her car is one that had always caught my eye because it was a chick driving, you know, kicking ass. Fast forward years and years and years later, I was working at a Honda shop in Colorado, and she came walking through the door needing some work done, and we started talking, and basically everything else is in the rearview mirror, and here we are.
Racing just kind of always, it didn't seem achievable anymore. It just kind of seemed, as the years went by, the less it seemed like it was ever going to pan out for me ever again.
All throughout our friendship and our relationship and our marriage, she's always talked about wanting to get back into racing. I decided to take one of our old cars that we knew worked and revamp it and let her run it.
So if you follow us on social media, you've probably seen a lot of posts about the car we call the Transmaro. It's a tube chassis, small tire drag car, big single turbo LSX 388. That is actually my car. Jessie came to me a couple of years ago and said, you know, I know you love racing. It's a passion you've had for a really long time. And it was really important to him to build me my dream car.
That car's been in my family. Actually, Kyle was the first one to own that car in my family, ironically. And he didn't like it, and I traded him like this piece of shit Cavalier for it. And I made it into like a street race car. All through high school, I street raced it. I kicked a lot of ass in that car. And then after high school, my dad took over the project and he did a bunch of work to it, and he's the one that actually put the Camaro front end on it and made it the Transmaro. It used to be just a pop-up headlight car, but he was all about saving weight and getting rid of a bunch of weight in the front end, and the Camaro front end was the way he did it. And it's always been the Transmaro ever since, and it's been through many transformations. It was factory black car, now it's always been white. Everyone knows it was a white car. It should be really cool. It should be really hot rod. You know, I put every bit of knowledge and ingenuity that I have into that car. All the skill that I could even drum up has been put towards that vehicle. So I think it should be really cool. I want both her and I to be able to stand next to it and be proud of not only what we built, but what we can do with what we built.
I'm super excited about it. I'm really nervous, anxious, excited. Like, am I going to be able to do it? But I think I can. I know I have the drive. I was at the track. I've probably made thousands of passes down the track, and I'm really ready to get back in the driver's seat.